Be prepared, because what began with this new astrological year is not just another cycle, and the people who are sensitive to changes in energy are already starting to feel that something is different. Not dramatically different on the surface, but different in a quiet way, like something underneath life has shifted direction without making a big announcement about it. Most people won't notice it immediately. They will continue their routines, their habits, their same patterns, and they will assume that this year is just another year like the last one. But for some people, especially the ones who have been feeling stuck, delayed, or like their life has been waiting for something to begin, this period feels like a release, like something that was paused is finally moving again. The new astrological year does not begin in January like the calendar says. It begins when the sun moves into Aries, when the cycle resets in a natural way, not a social way. And this year, that reset feels different because it does not feel like starting from zero. It feels like continuing from everything you went through last year, but this time with momentum. That is why many people are starting to feel like things are becoming clearer, not easier, but clearer. And clarity is more powerful than motivation, because motivation comes and goes, but clarity changes the direction of your life permanently. You may start noticing that things you were confused about before are suddenly simple. Decisions you kept delaying are now becoming obvious. Conversations you were avoiding are now impossible to ignore. And opportunities that you were not ready for before are starting to appear again, but this time in a different way. This is one of the first signs of the energy shift. Things that were unclear are becoming clear, and things that were delayed are starting to move. But this new cycle is not rewarding people who sit and wait. It is rewarding people who act when something becomes clear. This is very important to understand because many people think they need more time, more information, more confirmation, more confidence before they make a move. But this year does not respond to hesitation. It responds to action, even small action, especially small action. You are going to notice something very strange this year. The distance between thinking about something and actually doing it is getting smaller. Ideas will not stay comfortable inside your head anymore. Plans will not stay in the future forever. At some point, the things you keep thinking about will start to feel like something you are avoiding instead of something you are planning. And that feeling is not there to stress you. It is there to push you into movement. For a long time, many people have been living in a middle space, not fully moving forward, but not fully going backward either. Thinking about a different life, imagining a different direction, but still repeating the same routines because they are familiar and comfortable. That middle space is shrinking now. This year is not comfortable for people who are half committed to their own life. It is a year that slowly pushes you to choose a direction instead of staying in between. That is why some people will feel like their life is accelerating, and others will feel like nothing is happening. The difference will not be luck, and it will not be intelligence, and it will not be talent. The difference will be action. People who move when something becomes clear will see momentum building in their life. People who keep waiting for the perfect moment will feel like life is standing still, even though opportunities are right in front of them. Another sign of this energy shift is that your energy will become more selective. Before, you could spread your time and energy across many things, many people, many plans, and you would still see some progress. It might have been slow, but it worked. Now, it is different. This year, what you invest your energy in will either grow quickly or give you nothing back at all. There will be very little in between, and this is important because it will teach people where their energy actually belongs. If something in your life feels heavy very quickly, if something feels like you are putting effort and getting no movement in return, that is not always a challenge that you need to push through. Sometimes it is a signal that your energy is in the wrong place. And at the same time, when your energy is in the right place, things will start moving faster than you expect. Not because everything is easy, but because you are finally moving in the right direction instead of just moving in any direction. This year is not just about improving your life. Some years are about improvement, getting a little better, a little stronger, a little smarter, a little more successful. Those years are comfortable because they don't ask you to change who you are. If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe for daily cosmic insights, astrology updates, and spiritual guidance, because the universe always has a message for you. They just ask you to improve what you already have. But this year is different. This year is not just improving your life. It is questioning what your life is built on. And that is a much bigger change, because improving your life is easy compared to changing the structure of your life. Changing habits is easier than changing direction. Changing direction means you might have to leave things behind. Old plans, old environments, old versions of yourself, sometimes even old relationships. And that is why this year feels intense, even if nothing dramatic is happening yet. Because the changes are happening at the level of direction, not just at the level of situation. You might start questioning things you were once sure about. You might start seeing options you never considered before. You might start feeling like the path you are on is not wrong, but it might not be your path anymore. That is not confusion, that is expansion. And expansion always feels uncomfortable at first because you are growing out of a version of your life that once felt normal to you. There is also a question underneath everything that is happening this year, and most people avoid answering it honestly. If the life you say you want became available to you tomorrow, would you actually take it? Most people think the answer is yes, but when you really think about it, that life would require you to leave something behind. It would require you to change your routine, your habits, your environment, maybe even the people around you. And that is where people hesitate. Not because they don't want a better life, but because they don't want to leave the familiar one. People don't struggle to move forward. They struggle to let go of what is comfortable. And this year will bring many moments where the choice becomes very clear. Not easy, but clear. A decision that keeps coming back. A direction that keeps making sense. An idea that does not leave your mind no matter how long you ignore it. And the uncomfortable part is that you already know what you should do. The question is not whether you know. The question is whether you are going to act on what you already know. Because knowing and doing are completely different lives. There are people who know exactly what they want, but never move toward it. And there are people who are not completely sure, but they move anyway. And movement creates clarity. This year rewards movement. Not perfect plans, not perfect timing, not perfect confidence. Movement. You will also notice that changes this year will not always look dramatic when they happen. They will look small, simple decisions, simple conversations, small opportunities. But later, you will realize that those small decisions changed the direction of your life in a big way. Because life rarely changes in one big moment. It changes in small decisions that you almost ignored at the time. Another important thing about this year is that it will move in phases. First comes clarity, where you start understanding what needs to change. Then comes action, where you start moving in a new direction. Then comes testing, where life tests whether you are serious about the direction you chose. Then come results, where you start seeing what is actually working. And finally comes stability, where the new direction becomes your normal life. So if right now you feel like you are in a phase where things are becoming clear, but nothing big has happened yet, that is normal. Clarity always comes before movement, and movement always comes before results. There is one more thing you need to understand about this new astrological year energy shift. It is not trying to make your life perfect. It is trying to make your life honest. Honest about what you want. Honest about what you don't want anymore. Honest about what is working and what is not. Honest about what you are pretending not to see. Because the moment you see something clearly, you lose the ability to pretend you don't see it. And that is why this year will feel different. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because you are starting to see your life differently. And once you see differently, you choose differently. And once you choose differently, your life starts moving in a different direction. So, if you feel like something is shifting, like something is ending quietly, and something new is slowly beginning, like you are thinking differently, seeing differently, wanting different things than before, you are not going crazy and you are not lost. You are just at a point in your life where direction matters more than comfort, and honesty matters more than convenience, and action matters more than waiting. This new astrological year is not asking you to become someone else overnight. It is asking you to stop ignoring the person you already know you are supposed to become. And once you stop ignoring that, once you start moving even in small steps, you will notice something very interesting. Life starts meeting you halfway. Opportunities appear at the right time. People enter your life at the right moment. Conversations happen when they need to happen. And things start connecting in a way that feels almost planned. Not because the universe suddenly decided to help you, but because you finally started moving in the direction you were always supposed to go. And when direction is right, movement becomes easier. And when movement becomes easier, momentum builds. And when momentum builds, your life can change faster in 1 year than it changed in the last 5. So pay attention to what is becoming clear in your life right now. Pay attention to what keeps coming back into your mind. Pay attention to what feels heavy and what feels alive. Pay attention to the decisions you keep delaying. Because this year is not about forcing big changes overnight. It is about recognizing the right moment when it appears and not ignoring it again. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not missing your life. You are just at the point where your life is asking you a very simple question. Not what you want, not what you dream about, not what you plan to do someday. The question is very simple. Are you going to keep repeating the life you are comfortable with? Or are you finally going to start moving toward the life you know is possible for you? Because this year, more than most years, that decision will change everything.